Right now at noon, one person is dead after a fire this weekend in downtown Gatlinburg. What we know so far and the latest on efforts to put out the flames.
And we're tracking some fall-like weather just in time for the peak leaf season. Look at your fall forecast coming up.
This weekend, Vol Nation will come out in full force as UT takes on Alabama. Coming up, we hear from head coach Josh Heupel about predictions for the matchup against the Crimson Tide.
10 News is brought to you in high definition exclusively by Rusty Wallace Automotive Group. WBIR 10 News starts now.
New at noon, officials say one person is dead following a large fire in downtown Gatlinburg. This is what it looked like yesterday morning along the Parkway. The fire started early yesterday at a shopping center right next to the Gatlinburg Inn. Parts of the Parkway are still closed from that fire, and crews say multiple businesses are damaged. Reporter Fernando Garcia Francischini spent the morning with crews who are still working to put out those flames 24 hours later.
We're here at the Gatlinburg.
Right now, much of Tennessee is in a drought, and with that comes risk of brush fires. The ground is very dry and leaves are falling. In the past week, we saw how quickly even in the smallest sparks can ignite the ground. One example in Powell, a railroad company was grinding its rails, and the sparks, which came off the railroad, ended up starting brush fires. One fire chief says it takes a team effort to prevent the fires.
As Smokey Bear would say, only you can prevent forest fires. So be safe about it.
If you are planning on starting a fire, try to do it earlier in the day. Crews say the winds are lighter at that time. Also, make sure you have a water source nearby. A quick reminder, if you want to burn later this week, you will need a permit. The state requires one from October 15th to May 15th. Careless burning is the top cause every year of wildfires in Tennessee. Experts say composting leaves and grass is better than burning them. New at noon, the TBI and the Tennessee Highway Patrol are looking into what led to the death this weekend of a Union County deputy. Authorities say 28-year-old Matthew Kerman was found dead early Sunday in his vehicle. Deputy Kerman's cruiser wrecked at Possum Valley Road and Ayler Gap Road in Maynardville. An autopsy is being conducted. The officer previously worked at the Knox County Sheriff's Office. New at noon, police identified the victim of a deadly shooting in East Knoxville this past weekend. 23-year-old Robbie Matthews died following a shooting Saturday on Linden Avenue. At the moment, police have no suspects. Anyone with information is asked to call East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers, and you can find their number on our website. In your other headlines this morning, a Tennessee football player faces a felony charge. According to a warrant, Vols starting safety Jalen McCullough punched a man who says he mistakenly entered an apartment in Fort Sanders. The warrant says McCullough followed a man out of the apartment and punched him. That caused the man to fall down the stairs. Police arrived and found Zion Spencer with blood on his mouth and missing teeth. Records say McCullough returned to the scene with bandages on his hand. That's when police arrested him. UT Athletics told 10 News they did not have a comment as of late last night. And let's take a look at the weather right now. This is an overlook of Gatlinburg, and you can see those trees already starting to change. So beautiful. Kaylee, sunshine to kick off the week and some crisp morning air. What do we got going on the rest of the day?
Honestly, just that, Caitlin. We're talking about some gorgeous conditions for the rest.
Thanks, Kaylee. 3 deadly crashes happened in East Tennessee this past weekend. Tennessee Highway Patrol says an ATV crash in Campbell County left 2 people dead. Troopers say the crash happened just before 5:30 Saturday night at a section of Old Highway 63. The report says the ATV was trying to make a left turn and ended up hitting a concrete train trestle. The crash ejected the driver and passenger. THP identified the driver as Jonathan Newport of Oneida and the passenger as Garrett Baird of Pine Knot, Kentucky. Both were 22 years old. THP says neither were wearing a helmet or a seatbelt. In Fentress County, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office confirms a deputy died in an overnight crash. Corbin Goad was 21 years old and a deputy with the Corrections Division. The Sheriff's Office says he was off duty during the crash They say he always handled himself with professionalism and will be sincerely missed. We're also learning the name of the victim who died in a crash in Loudoun County. THP confirms his identity as Dylan Price of Honor. The crash happened Saturday near a Clear Creek boat ramp, and it shut down Tellico Parkway for several hours. New at noon, the latest data from Knox County Drug-Related Task Force reports nearly 380 overdose-related deaths in 2021. So far this month, there have been 12 fatal overdoses. This year, there have been 378 deaths, and last year we saw almost 500. If you or a loved one is struggling with substance abuse, you can call the Tennessee Red Line. That number is on your screen. The Metro Drug Coalition in Knoxville also has resources and confidential referrals for treatment. That full list is on WBIR.com. Tomorrow is the deadline to register to vote in Tennessee. Registering allows you to take part in the November 8th election. All you need is your state-issued driver's license or a photo ID. Early voting runs from October 19th until November 3rd. That link is on our website. You can find more information at WBIR.com. Right now, we're just under 7 months away from the mandatory deadline to get a real ID, and here's what you need to know. Starting May 3rd, you'll need a real ID to get inside federal buildings and to take a commercial flight in the U.S. You need several documents to get a real ID. Proof of U.S. citizenship or proof of government permission to be in the U.S., a social security card or proof that you have one, and 2 other documents such as utility bills showing that you live in the state. The typical cost for a real ID is $28. Driver service offices and many county clerks offer those IDs. Everything that you need to know about the real ID is available at WBIR.com. Starting today, the most popular park in the city will be down to 1 entrance. At Lakeshore Park, city crews are closing the North Shore Drive entrance for 6 to 8 months. It's part of a multi-million-dollar upgrade. Lakeshore leaders say this closure could create some congestion for now, but the cooler months tend to see less visitors anyway. By spring, they hope the construction will make the park more accessible than before. New at noon, ESPN's College Game Day is coming back to Rocky Top. The Vols announced Saturday's game against Alabama will be an orange out. More than 100,000 people will be rocking and kneeling on Saturday, and the game is already sold out. It's the first time these two teams have been undefeated facing each other since 1989. Coming up later in the hour, we will have full coverage on the upcoming game against Crimson Tide. Now let's get another check on the forecast with meteorologist Kaylee Bowers. Kaylee, some rain later in the week?
Yeah, that's right, Caitlin. We are